Max Verstappen just called his Red Bull uncontrollable after the worst start of his life. Lewis Hamilton exposed a secret Mercedes party mode. And a 19-year-old rookie just shattered Sebastian Vettel's historic Formula 1 record. Welcome back to the Paddock Outlaw. Saturday at the 2026 Chinese Grand Prix delivered an absolutely frenetic sprint race and a history-making qualifying session. Smash that subscribe button to help my channel grow. This is really important for me. Grab a drink and let's get into it. Lewis Hamilton ambushed George Russell for the lead, Kimi Antonelli crashed into a Red Bull, and Max Verstappen suffered a total disaster. Before the lights even went out for the 19-lap sprint, there was drama. Alex Albon was forced to start from the pit lane after Williams breached parc ferme by changing his suspension setup. Meanwhile, Alpine was slapped with a bizarre €5,000 fine. Pierre Gasly's car was released from the garage with an antenna shield still attached, which flew off onto the track during his reconnaissance lap. Isaac Hadjar also faced the stewards and received a warning for a practice start infringement. When the lights finally went out, the front row had wildly different fates. George Russell aced the start from pole, but his teammate Kimi Antonelli suffered a total nightmare. Antonelli hit anti-stall, had no turbo, and plummeted down the order. Desperate to recover, Antonelli collided with Hadjar at turn 6. The stewards hit the young Italian with a 10-second time penalty and an expected 2 penalty points on his super license. At the front, Lewis Hamilton used a rocket start from 4th to jump into 2nd. On the opening lap, Hamilton executed a bold dive on Russell into turn 9 to take the lead, catching his former teammate completely off guard. The two swapped positions multiple times in a thrilling yo-yo battle. However, the fight cost Hamilton dearly. He admitted, "I killed my left tire, so I wasn't able to hold on to the position." Hamilton ultimately fell behind his Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc. Leclerc wasn't entirely thrilled with Hamilton's defense, asking over the radio, does he know how wide these cars are? Further back, Max Verstappen was enduring absolute agony. The 4-time world champion bogged down terribly at the start, dropping as low as 20th place. He managed to drag the RB22 back to 9th, finishing just outside the points behind Haas's Ollie Behrman. Verstappen's post-race assessment was brutal. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, and the balance is all over the place. He called the car's tire degradation uncontrollable. Former world champion Jacques Villeneuve didn't hold back either, stating Verstappen is all over the place and not even in the right mental space. Villeneuve suggested Red Bull is finally paying the price for losing key pillars like Adrian Newey, Christian Horner, and Helmut Marko. The race was turned upside down on lap 14 when Nico Hülkenberg's Audi suffered a hydraulics issue and ground to a halt at turn 1, triggering a safety car. This allowed the leaders to dive into the pits for fresh tires due to massive degradation. On the restart, Charles Leclerc had a golden opportunity to attack Russell but suffered what he called a very scary moment. Leclerc had a massive snap of oversteer out of the hairpin, admitting, "I completely lost the car. I nearly lost it." This allowed George Russell to cruise to his first sprint victory since Sao Paulo 2022. Leclerc held on for 2nd, and Hamilton completed the podium in 3rd. Lando Norris finished 4th, complaining that Ferrari simply had more grip in the cold conditions. Antonelli recovered to 5th after serving his penalty. Liam Lawson executed a massive gamble by starting on hard tires, finishing 7th to score 2 points. But he admitted the strategy leaves him potentially hurt for Sunday's Grand Prix with only one hard set remaining. It was a disappointing race for Alpine, with Gasly finishing 11th and complaining about clipping on the straights, while Colapinto finished 14th. George Russell's Mercedes completely died on track. A 19-year-old rookie just shattered Sebastian Vettel's historic Formula 1 record, and Lewis Hamilton just exposed a secret Mercedes party mode. If you thought the sprint was crazy, qualifying for Sunday's Grand Prix was pure, unadulterated theater. History was officially made today. Kimi Antonelli secured his first ever Grand Prix pole position, becoming the youngest pole sitter in Formula 1 history and breaking the legendary record held by Sebastian Vettel. Antonelli kept his cool under massive pressure. He admitted he struggled a bit with the balance throughout qualifying, but found a nice rhythm and was able to find lap time every single time he went on track. When asked about his mindset after that heavy crash last week in Melbourne, Kimi maturely stated he is still learning how to improve his risk-reward ratio, especially when you have such a quick car underneath you. But the rookie is already looking over his shoulder. He warned the media that Ferrari looks incredibly strong on cold tires, and he is terrified of their pace off the starting line for tomorrow's race. But while Kimi was celebrating, the other side of the Mercedes garage was living through an absolute nightmare. George Russell revealed that his session was pure damage limitation. At the end of Q2, his front wing completely broke, causing massive stress in the garage as the mechanics scrambled to fix it, but it got infinitely worse. As soon as Russell went out for Q3, his car stopped on the track. It wouldn't restart, and when it finally did, he couldn't shift gears. Russell made it back out of the pit lane with mere seconds to spare. He started his one and only flying lap with completely cold tires and absolutely zero battery deployment. Despite all of this, Russell somehow dragged that broken, freezing car to P2, locking out the front row for Mercedes. And right behind them in P3 is Lewis Hamilton. It was a very messy session for the 7-time champion, who suffered a big snap on his first Q3 lap and struggled heavily with the gusty Shanghai winds. But Hamilton was incredibly gracious to the rookie who replaced him, saying, "He took my seat and he hit it hard from the get-go." But the wholesome moment stopped there because Lewis dropped a massive bombshell on the paddock. Posting on Threads, Lewis accused Mercedes of hiding their true pace. He stated in qualifying they have another mode that they can go to, a bit like party mode back in the day. Once they go to Q2, they switch that on. Hamilton complained that the Ferrari is feeling completely thirsty on power when chasing Mercedes down the straight. He bluntly admitted that it is highly unlikely they can beat Mercedes in the race, revealing that Mercedes currently has a massive 4 to 6/10 race pace advantage in clear air. The post-qualifying press conference also gave us some incredible behind-the-scenes insights into the new 2026 regulations. The drivers were asked about the crazy yo-yo racing we've seen, where cars repeatedly pass each other on the straight. George Russell finally explained the secret behind it. He revealed that with the new F1 overtake mode, the chasing driver can use the battery boost all the way up to 330 kilometers per hour, while the leading car gets electronically cut off at 290 kilometers per hour. Russell admitted it works quite well and is creating a similar speed delta to the old DRS system. And finally, the drivers fired some shots at the Formula 1 calendar itself. When discussing the sprint format, Hamilton said he loves having different weekend structures, but he aggressively called out the Monaco Grand Prix. Lewis called Monaco the most beautiful place in the world, but slammed it as the most boring race due to the normal weekend format. He demanded that F1 needs to brainstorm totally new, unique formats just for tracks like that. Add in Charles Leclerc admitting that P2 in the sprint wasn't enough because Ferrari demands the top step of the podium, and you have a recipe for an absolute war on Sunday. The grid is set and the tension is absolutely electric. Kimi Antonelli is the youngest pole sitter in F1 history, but he has his veteran teammate George Russell and the fast-starting Ferrari of Lewis Hamilton breathing right down his neck for turn 1. Can Antonelli survive the pressure, or will Mercedes' secret party mode propel Russell to another win? And can Max Verstappen miraculously fix his uncontrollable Red Bull to fight through the field? Drop your race predictions in the comments right now. Who takes the win on Sunday? Smash that like button, make sure you are subscribed to the Paddock Outlaw, and I will see you after the checkered flag drop.